this lesson we'll be continuing on with the method of limit calculation. For this lesson of the method of limit calculation, we'll be having more of these examples. So what we have here, so over here first we have given limit x approaches to infinity, x squared plus 1 over x plus 1 minus alpha x minus beta is equal to 0. Find the values of alpha and beta. So for this part, we'll be once again using three methods. So for our first method, we have conversion between infinity. So basically infinity to infinitesimal calculation. So for our infinity to infinitesimal calculation, first over here we can common denominator. Then after that we can expand this part and we will get after that we can regroup them according to the amount of x. And now that we have gotten this part, we can use the infinity calculation to infinitesimal calculation and divide x on both numerator and denominator, and we will get so over here you see that for this part you can, and so for this part if it's substituted for over here for the denominator, what we will have will just be 1, while for this part it will be 0, and then for here what we'll just end up with would be and this will be equal to 0, and thus for this power we're supposed to have is that. So what we'll have is 1 minus alpha will be equals to 0. And then over here for this part, alpha plus beta would also be equal to 0. Okay, and thus over here alpha is definitely 1, and because alpha is 1, beta will definitely be -1. So that is our result for our first method. Now moving on to method 2, here we will have to use the method of factorization. So compared to the first method, instead of straight away using common denominator, over here for this part, for this x part we plus 1 minus 1. Then for this part, now you can factorize for this part because for the x squared minus 1 will become x plus 1 times x minus 1, and we'll get, so x plus 1 and x minus 1 times together, then plus this part, so here we will get x minus 1, then plus 2 over x plus 1 minus alpha x minus beta. And then now that we finish this part, what we have now is and then we put these two together too, and we'll get this part. And this would be equal to 0. Well, if you just straight up substitute this inside, this part will become a 0, thus we do not need to consider for this part. Okay, so for this part over here, what we can tell is that 1 minus alpha is equal to 0, and 1 plus beta is also equal to 0. Thus alpha is 1 and beta is -1, just like if you compare to the first method, we also got this result. And now moving on to our third method of L'Hopital's rule. So for L'Hopital's rule, for the first step, we do the same and with common denominator. So when we common denominator, so for the first few parts, the same thing happens as for the method 1. And then after that, we will expand this part and then combine them again, just in a different method. So what we have over here will be and now that this part's done, what we have over here is for this part we will put them together, and here we'll get and this is what we get. Give me one sec. So over here, let me just check. Oh, whoops. So now that we have gotten for this part, what we'll have over here, we can use the L'Hopital's rule, and for this the denominator will become 1, so we don't have to write it down. Well, for the numerator, this part just becomes 0, and then for this part it becomes 2 times 1 minus alpha x, and then after that for this part here we will have just this alpha plus beta, and it's equals to 0. So now that we have gotten this part, what we have here is 1 minus alpha needs to equal to 0, and alpha plus beta will also need to be equal to 0, so alpha would be equals to 1, and then beta would be equals to -1 because of alpha. So if we compare the three results these three results for method 1, we all got the same answer. Thus over here it is correct, and we use 3 different methods. So we use third method, L'Hopital's rule, second method, factorization, and our first method was converted between infinity to infinitesimal calculation. So for this lesson that we offer over here, take a quick look. Last but not least, thank you for your watching.